Okefenokee Joe.
Boy, after all that, I better be good. Goodness gracious. I am honored once again to be invited here to the Will McLean Festival. It's a great honor for me. I thought y'all had enough of me by now, but I'm glad to be here amongst so many great artists, musicians, singers, writers, so many nice people. I'm known as Okefenokee Joe because for many years the great Okefenokee Swamp in South Georgia was my home. I wasn't born there. What she just told you is true. I arrived in the Okefenokee Swamp at the tender age of 41. Yeah. I had already lived more than half a lifetime of civilization. And what a switch. What a way to start writing other songs, too. Got a brand new CD out now. It's called Okefenokee Joe The Collection, Volume 1. This time it's not all songs about the earth and about the animals. Some of the songs are about people, too. These three songs that I'm going to do are from that brand new CD. I love to wake up in the morning when the birds begin performing, showing off their colors and singing their pretty songs. My heart dances to the rhythm of the music God has given, and all of God's creation sings along. And how I love that song. I love to sing along. There's such joy in all the greenery and magic in the scenery, for all of God's creation is a song. It sings in every treetop and rings in every raindrop. It echoes in the mountains, the sky, and the deep blue sea. It's a splendid celebration with perfect orchestration, and all creation sings the melody. And how I love that song. I love to sing along. It's in every ray of sunshine, the moon and stars at nighttime, for all of God's creation is a song. It is sung to us each season, winter, summer, spring, and fall. We can hear it when the wind blows in every creature's call. It's a masterpiece of blending, a symphony unending, created to sustain us one and all. And how I love that song. I love to sing along. Its pure harmony has found me. I can feel it all around me. For all of God's creation is a song. All of God's creation is a song. And it is. Yes, I have devoted my life living close to the earth. Close to the people, too. It's the healing recipe for all humanity. And it starts with you and me. Results are guaranteed. It's a struggle, just surviving the fast pace of today. Faced with all the changes tossed our way. But one thing hasn't changed at all since life on earth began. Each of us could sometimes use a helping hand. Do unto others as you'd have them do to you. Life on earth is a blessing, and we're all just passing through. Be a friend to your neighbor. He'll be a friend to you. Let your conscience be your compass, whatever path you choose. Little Jimmy's having trouble with some bigger kids at school, picked on by some bullies who won't fight by the rules. Jimmy has two choices, either run or make a stand, wishing he could help those bullies understand. There are people shunned and left out for what they're believing in, and too many made to suffer for the color of their skin. The whole world prays for peace on earth, but the hate games just rage on. Couldn't some folks just leave other folks alone? It's the healing recipe for all humanity, and it starts with you and me. Results are guaranteed. Do unto others as you'd have them do to you. Life on earth is a blessing, and we're all just passing through. Be a friend to your neighbor. He'll be a friend to you. Let your conscience be your compass, whatever path you choose. Do unto others as you'd have them do to you. Life on earth is a blessing, and we're all just passing through. Be a friend to your neighbor. He'll be a friend to you. Let your conscience be your compass, whatever path you choose. Life on earth is a blessing, and we're all just passing through. Those of you who know me know who Swampy was. Sometimes I call this Swampy's song. It's the first song I wrote after I moved into the Okefenokee Swamp. He kind of helped me write it. Guess I'm my own man now, and restlessness is growing. Don't know where I'm bound now, got no way of knowing. But if it's really over between us, like you say, ain't no reason I should stay. Wonder if the grass will grow any greener anywhere, long as I keep moving on. I don't guess I'll care. But one thing is for certain, I'll get over you somehow, baby. I'm my own man now. I'm my own man now. Once again, I'm free, with mountains to climb, rivers to cross, and a highway calling to me. So I'll be moving on now, alone, and take my chances. I'll catch love from time to time in fleeting, passing glances. And if I'm ever back this way, it's by mistake somehow, baby. I'm my own man now. I'm my own man now. Once again, I'm free, with mountains to climb, rivers to cross, and a highway calling to me. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all want a drink? Yeah. Two dear friends of mine are supposed to be here today. I don't know if they've gotten here yet, but does anybody out there remember the old Jimmy Dean Network television show on CBS? Early morning show? I was one of the two country lads on that show, and we sang duets together, and my old partner's supposed to be here, so I don't know if he's gotten here yet. He said I never would recognize him. I ain't seen him in 40 years. But we used to sing duets together, and we called it more like a duel. But every morning we had a different song. We did a lot of Louvin Brothers things and Wilburn Brothers, all that stuff, you know. And, of course, the Wilburn Brothers recorded one of my songs, Trouble's Back in Town. And also, the other fella's going to be here sometime today was the ventriloquist on that show. You remember Alex and Elmer? Elmer the dummy? I don't know which one was the dummy, but I used to introduce him on our shows. He's the man who makes a living talking to himself. I don't know. Are y'all here yet? I don't see them. I don't know if they're here, buddy. I got a request for this, so I guess I'm going to have to do it. Okay, where are we here? Blazing in the peat bog, happy as a bullfrog soaking up the morning sun. Dreaming about fishing, maybe just listening. That's how a gator has fun. Watching dragonflies zooming through the tide, picking those skeeters on the run. Taking in the scenery, enjoying all the greenery. That's how a gator has fun. Yeah, that's how a gator has fun, oh boy. That's how a gator has fun. Dreaming about fishing, maybe just listening. That's how a gator has fun. Just thought I'd throw that in there. Yeah, I used to yodel too, boy. Alligators don't do that. Alligator don't even wish he could do that. Probably. Wish I could. Used to could. Swimming under lily pads, digging up crawdads, munching on a one by one. Breathing in the clean air, contented just to be there. That's how a gator has fun. Melodies birds sing, symphonies frogs bring, make his little happy heart hum. Feeling right at home there, knowing he belongs there. That's how a gator has fun. Yeah, that's how a gator has fun, oh boy. That's how a gator has fun. Swimming under lily pads, digging up crawdads. That's how a gator has fun. Again. Older than a dinosaur, 40 million years or more, and hasn't changed a bit from day one. Proud of all his history, keeping it a mystery. That's how a gator has fun. Yeah, that's how a gator has fun, oh boy, that's how a gator has fun. Proud of all his history, keeping it a mystery. That's how a gator has fun. Watching dragonflies zooming through the tide. That's how a gator has fun. Swimming under lily pads, digging up crawdads. That's how a gator has fun. Breathing in the clean air, contented just to be there. That's how a gator has fun. Taking in the scenery, enjoying all the greenery. That's how a gator has fun. Yeah, that's how a gator has fun, oh boy, that's how a gator has fun. Right at home there, knowing he belongs there. That's how a gator has fun. Yodelay, That's how a gator has fun. Where'd I go on that, man? Well, I forgot to ask you how much time I got. Y'all want a drink? Hey, yeah, I called him Dog. You folks live here in Florida. You'll appreciate this. I called him Dog. I didn't know what else to call him. He'd come into my camp in the Everglades. That's where I was deciding what to do the rest of my life 30 years ago. 35 years ago, I guess. I don't remember now exactly. Anyhow, he come walking into my camp, wagging his tail, half starved to death. Someone had left that poor little dog behind, and I felt sorry for him. I said, Dog? Didn't know what else to call him. I said, you got here just in time. You see that Jeep over there? I was pointing at my Volkswagen thing. It's not a Jeep, but that's what I call it. I said, everything I own is in that Jeep. This is my last night in the Glades. I'm on my way now to the great Okefenokee Swamp. I'm going to spend the rest of my life up there in Georgia learning. And I told that dog, I said, I'm all by myself, dog. You can come with me if you want to. Well, that cute little short-legged dog must have understood every word I said. Next morning, when it was time to leave, he was sitting in the front seat of that Jeep. It took us 12 hours. I drove some. He drove some. We got to the swamp, and I took that job taking care of the animals, and I'll never forget the first night. I said, Dog, come on out here. I was on the road out in front of my house. I said, look up that way. I was pointing south. I said, ain't nobody for 48 miles. I said, look over that way. I was pointing west. Ain't nobody for 45 miles. I said, we're home. Me and that dog were so happy. And we were in the swamp almost 3 months. I was taking care of the animals and getting along just fine. But his name was still Dog. I didn't know what else to call him until one night I heard him yelp. Went out there to see what he's yelping about. He's sitting there soaking wet, filthy, dirty. He looks a pitiful. He was not even wagging his tail. I shined my light on him. When I saw, he looked up at me. When I could see what had happened, it scared me. It scared me. His nose had swelled up as big as a balloon. He looked like Snoopy sitting there. And I said, Swampy, what kind of a swamp dog are you getting snake bit? We don't have time for that. Then I realized what I'd done. I'd given him a name. His name is Swampy. And oh, how I loved that cute little short-legged dog. He and me had so many adventures together on Cowhouse Island because he lived through that snake bite, thank God. Wasn't long after he got his name when we found Skeeter. I got a call to come back out there to the park. Someone left a mess behind in the picnic area. I took Swampy with me. That's when we found Skeeter in a 55-gallon drum out there. A little tiny calico kitten, no bigger than the size of a Coca-Cola can. Someone left her behind. I picked her up. She fit right in the palm of my hand. I said, I have a job for you. Your name's going to be Skeeter. That's short for mosquito. You're going to catch mice at my house. We took her home. She became the boss the minute we got there. For 3 years, near about, it was Swampy, Skeeter, and me out there in that swamp. I often thought about calling hee-haw. You know, they get up the cornfield saying, so-and-so, Missouri, population 9, whatever. I was population 1, friend. At dark, I became the sheriff, the judge. I had a 750 square mile backyard, friend. At that point in time, it was the largest designated wilderness area east side of the Mississippi River. 750 square mile back. You ought to try mowing it, man. One night, Swampy didn't come home. It took me 3 days to find him. I searched high and low for him. Found him belly up in a pond out there. I got my boat and pulled out to get him. The gator that took him did not want any trouble with me, just swam away. I picked Swampy up, 3 days gone. He fell apart in my hands. Took him back to the yard and buried him. Friend, every time I go to the Okefenokee Swamp these days, I'll take a few minutes out and I'll go visit Swampy Lake. And I'll look at that alligator that took my dog so many years ago now. And I'll remember. You see, if the alligator had come up in my yard after Swampy, I would have shot him on the spot. But that's not what happened. The alligator was in the Okefenokee Swamp, minding its own business, just doing its job for the earth we live on. It wasn't the alligator's fault, friend. It was Swampy. 1 second, Swampy, my dog, forgot to be swamp-wise. The same thing could happen to anybody, even somebody as old as me now. I forget 1 second out of my life to look up and down the street before I go to cross it. Anybody here knows what could happen if a truck came by? We going to spend the rest of our life shooting every truck we see? I don't hate that alligator. I'm sure sorry it happened. And I remember Swampy, and Swampy, here's your song. Swampy the dog, Skeeter the cat, and me. Living in the swamp, loving every minute, just being free. Okefenokee, Georgia, population 3. Swampy the dog, Skeeter the cat, and me. That's the way it was in that broken down shack I called home. Living off the land, but not exactly living alone. My playful 2 companions were always there to help me along. With a whole lot of sharing, a whole lot of caring, life was like a beautiful song, and I'd sing Swampy the dog, Skeeter the cat, and me. But you know the swamp has a way of changing things. And that old bull gator meant me no harm. But when he dragged Swampy under, it was like he took my right arm. Life in the Okefenokee is beautiful, but there's bound to be a few bad times. I'm just glad I'm still around. And Swampy, wherever you are today, you're on my mind. Be a long time forgetting the love in those faithful brown eyes. Swampy was my friend, and oh, how I cried when he died. Now, me and little Skeeter were both a little older and wise. No need explaining, though times are changing, we keep the old memories alive. Swampy the dog, Skeeter the cat, and me. Living in the swamp, loving every minute, just being free. Okefenokee, Georgia, population 3. Swampy the dog, Skeeter the cat, and me. I was in 1993, I produced an album on Cowhouse Island Records. That's my own record label. That's the name of the island that I lived on in the Okefenokee Swamp, Cowhouse Island. That year, 1993, I was invited to Rutledge Prison to do a show for the inmates. I was promoting my new CD, see. When I got there, we had to do 2 showings. They did not want all the prisoners in one place at once. I don't know why. But I sang Swampy the dog, Skeeter the cat, and me in both of those shows, and I have never in my life seen so many mean, tough, evil-looking people just crying their eyes out. I'm serious. And about a week after I got back from that show, we got a letter from one of the inmates, which read words to the effect, "Getting out in June. First thing I'm going to do is go to the Okefenokee Swamp and take out that gator you too chicken to take out yourself." I swear this is true, and I was worried about it. I called the prison to find out about this guy, and he says, "These guys lie all the time. He's got 20 years left." So every time I visit Swampy Lake, I'll tell that alligator how much time he got to live. This is all true. My life in the Okefenokee. Brand new song. This is in my new CD. Ladies and gentlemen, I remember when I turned 50 years old, one of my sons said to me, "Happy birthday, old timer." I said, "Whoa, son, I ain't an old timer yet." That was 22 years ago. Folks around here call me the old timer. True, I've lived much longer than I've got left to live, and each passing day becomes one more reminder just how precious life is and all that it can give. And though my years imply I'd know the answers, remember when you ask for my advice, what you see here's just a kid in this old body. And I'm still playing guessing games with life. I have found that few things are for certain. Life is like a ladder all of us must climb. Each rung has its pitfalls and its pleasures. The going can get tough for us at times. The measure of success is not in dollars. Money, like a thief, can steal your soul. You'll find it's peace of mind that really matters. The secret to the joy in growing old. Each of us is given just one lifetime. The path we choose won't always turn out right. For no matter where we're standing on that ladder, we're all just playing guessing games with life. I suppose I could philosophize for hours, brag on my adventures, even tell some lies. You can bet I've done some living in my lifetime. Now I'm grateful just to be alive. A clock can stop, but time keeps right on moving. We just won't know till trumpets call us home. And even from that last rung of our ladder, we'll do our best to just keep hanging on. Each of us is given just one lifetime. The path we choose won't always turn out right. For no matter where we're standing on that ladder, we're all just playing guessing games with life. And even from that last rung of our ladder, we'll all be playing guessing games with life. Thank you. Two more songs? Oh, gee. What do you follow a song like that with? What am I supposed to do next, man? I guess you know by now I got a cold. You know, when you get old, you got to be tough. Excuse me. Us old guys got to do that now and then. Yeah. Oh, listen, I'm enjoying being with y'all. A lot of you are my good friends, and I'm grateful to have my good friends. And we had a request. Is that what the request was? You know, in my camp up in South Georgia, because I can't call it my camp anymore, can I? I'm fixing to move out of there. But anyhow, in my camp in South Georgia, one day, I was sitting there just admiring the scenery, looking at the trees. And all of a sudden I realized something. The trees, especially the big ones, way up high in the branches. All of a sudden I realized, even though they're the same species side by side, not one tree on this earth is built exactly the same as the other. Their branches are located in different places. They lean this way and that. Some are taller than others. And you know, it came to me that trees, just like people, are individuals. And every tree on God's earth has a life story all its very own. And boy, if trees could talk, some of these trees are 500 years old. My goodness, what stories they could tell. Let's see. I ain't done this song in a while. Surprised me with it. Surprised me with that request. Oh, I'm supposed to tell you if you got any requests, wrap them up in a $20 bill and send them up here. Well, what's this, Will Fest? Oh, 10 will do. I'll do it for nothing. I just kidding. If you throw any bottles up this way, make sure they're full. Here we go. It's only a tree. Just one more tree. Who cares if it lives or it dies? It's only a tree. What's one less tree? Who'd miss it? You'd be surprised. The graceful white-tailed deer nibbles on the leaves of the purple flower growing in the shade. Take away the tree, the flower grows no more. The deer must find another place to graze. Times insects dwell in the shades of its bark. Grateful songbirds flock each day to feed. Take away the tree, their shelter will be gone. The insects and the birds will have to leave. It may be just a tree, but it amazes me how much would be missing if that tree should cease to be. The otter eats the fish that ate the dancing fly, born in the cocoon up in that tree. Its leaves will shade the ferns, its seeds will feed the mouse, its branches reach out to all those in need. A spider spins its web, a squirrel can build its nest. There's nothing that a tree will not befriend. Hugging Mother Earth, its roots protect her soil from torrential rains and raging winds. It may be just a tree, but it amazes me how important to all life on Earth one single tree can be. From the earth and from the sun, it takes just what it needs and shares with all its neighbors willingly. It gives us medicine, shelter, food, and tools. In every book we read, one's once a tree. Life is intertwined, and somewhere down the line, somehow we're all connected to that tree. Otters, fish, and deer, spiders, ferns, and squirrels, flowers, birds, and even you and me. It may be just a tree, but it amazes me how it can serve all life on Earth with such diversity. It adds beauty to the earth, cleanses air for all to breathe, asks nothing in return from those it shelters and it feeds. Its fallen leaves enrich the soil with fertile energy, and all of God's creation depends upon that tree. It's only a tree, just one more tree. Who cares if it lives or it dies? It's only a tree. What's one less tree? Who'd miss it? God would, and so would I.